You guys, I am so happy to be here with you today and get to talk about this amazing, fun topic that we have. Honestly cannot believe it is September already. Where has the year gone? It's crazy. I don't even know where the year has gone. 2023 has just flown by, and here we are in the fall already. Anyway, today we are going to talk about castles, chocolate, and cobblestones. As you might guess, we are heading to Europe for today's topic. And specifically, we are going to talk about river cruise excursion ideas. As you may or may not know, river cruises are in Europe, of course. That's what we're focusing on today. But they are also in Asia, in Egypt, in North America, and in South America. So they are all over the world. So amazing. And so if you are interested you think, well, I kind of know Europe. I don't really care about going on a river cruise to Europe, but I would love to explore XYZ place. For example, the Mississippi River in the US, or I would love to explore Egypt on the Nile or something like that and do a river cruise. Let me know, because I totally can help you with any of those other locations besides just Europe. Okay, but today we're focusing on Europe. Would you love to take an extraordinary river cruise in Europe? Of course you would. Who wouldn't, right? Who wouldn't? I love river cruising. This is one of my very favorite ways to get to see places. I love that river cruising takes you through the center of countries, not just to the edges where the coasts are. And I love that you get to just unpack and be in your beautiful stateroom the whole time. And then from your river cruise location, you just get to explore all the ports. Unlike ocean cruising, which varies between days at sea and days in port, river cruises are in port every single day and often in more than one port in a day so that you can see so much stuff. You just get to pack in so much stuff into every day on your river cruise. So you get to enjoy the amazing, wonderful time on board, but you also get to enjoy a lot of incredible sights and sounds and sceneries and everything off the ship every day, all the time. So today I am highlighting 7 types of excursions and experiences that you can have on your next European river cruise. So obviously this is not going to be super in-depth because we don't have time to go into like major, I guess, details about everything, but I'm going to give you a good overview of all these different types of excursions that you can do and give you a few examples. Okay, so number 1 is explore fascinating historic sites. All right, we could seriously devote the entire time to talking about historic sites because us being in a young country in the US, we don't have nearly the amazing many years of history that these European places do. And so to me, it is so fascinating to go to an old country like this and to get to hear about all of their really super old history. So some of the examples of historic sites would be the castles along the Danube Valley. So if you go along the Danube River, you'll see the fairy tale castles all along the banks, like the Milk Abbey in Austria or the Visegrad Castle in Hungary. Lots of medieval castles along the way. Also on the Danube, there are other ancient ruins like Roman forts, specifically one called Cartunum in Austria. So there's lots of old Roman buildings as well because Rome spread across pretty much all of Europe at one point. And in Amsterdam, you can see something like the Anne Frank House, the museum that they have made from the Anne Frank House and where they hid during World War II. In Salzburg, they've got a super fun sound and music tour where you can retrace the steps of the Von Trapp family and get to see the filming locations, and really cool. In Madrid, you can actually visit the Royal Palace of Madrid, which is the official residence of the Spanish royal family. You get to see the rooms, the artwork, the gardens. It's really, really cool. So other historic sites in Germany alone, there are so many incredible things. For example, the Cologne Cathedral is just this beautiful Gothic masterpiece with gorgeous stained glass windows and architecture. In Bavaria, a couple different things. There's the Neuschwanstein Castle, which is the gorgeous castle that our fairy tale castles, the Sleeping Beauty Castle and the Cinderella castles, were patterned after, which is perched on top of a hill in the Bavarian Alps. That's in Germany. Also in Germany, there is a beautiful place called the Wurzburg Residence, and it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And they've got beautiful frescoes and paintings and rooms and gardens. So much cool history stuff. Other cool history stuff. In the Netherlands, for example, you can visit the windmills and get to see all of the windmills that have just been there for centuries. Just amazing. Or also in the Netherlands, they've got this cool museum called the Kröller-Müller Museum. And they have great, incredible Van Gogh masterpieces, Picasso masterpieces, Mondrian, also a lot of other famous artists. So no matter what your kind of historical, bend is, your leanings toward, you can pretty much get to see it on a river cruise. All right. Number 2, culinary. Oh, culinary. That's one of our favorite things to talk about because we love food. I love food. So not only is there amazing food on the ship, and you will get to experience some incredible food on ship, but off the ship, there are some fun excursions that you can do. For example, Lyon, France is the gastronomic capital of the world. And so you get to sample local cheeses and pastries and chocolate and all the amazing cuisine that is there. In Spain, in Sevilla and Porto, you could do something like tapas tastings and wine pairings. In Bologna, Italy, also the heart of the culinary scene in Italy, you could do a pasta making class or a demo or tasting. In Bordeaux, France, or Rudesheim, Germany, these places have world-renowned vineyards, and they have incredible wines that are local to their areas. And so you could go on a tour and get to learn the secrets of winemaking and just wine tastings and all of that. In Brussels, Belgium, let's talk about Belgian chocolate. You could go on a tasting tour and get to sample a whole bunch of different types of chocolates, or you also could go on the type of excursion where you get to learn about the art of chocolate making from local experts. So the culinary ones are always some of my favorites to do. I love those excursions. Okay, let's talk about some outdoor adventures. Now, there are so many outdoor adventures. So much of river cruising is getting to be outdoors. But let's talk about biking for a minute. Most or many, I don't know if it's most or many, actually, because I haven't really counted, but many of the river cruise ships offer free bikes. They're just sitting there on the top deck of the ship, and you can take the bike out and go for a bike ride anytime you want to, or you can go on a biking excursion that is kind of planned along a certain route and have the guide kind of talk you through everything on the excursion while you're there. So biking is a great way to see the local countryside. Along the Danube River, there's places like Austria's Wachau Valley or Germany's Bavarian countryside, Hungary's Danube Bend region. So there's so many places that are just incredible to bike. On the Rhine River, there's like the vineyards in the Moselle Valley, or there's this beautiful little stretch between Rudesheim and Koblenz. Lots of little charming towns along the Rhine Gorge. So it's just a beautiful place to bike as well. In Vienna, you could cycle in Vienna along the Ringstrasse Road and just get to see a lot of really great landmarks like the Vienna State Opera House, the Hofburg Palace, and also just soak up the city's, amazing atmosphere. Okay, so that's biking, and hardly any examples, but a few. Now let's talk about other types of outdoor things like hiking. Oh my goodness, you can go hiking almost everywhere. There's hikes up to a castle or up to this or that landmark. So they are all over on a river cruise. But let's talk about a couple of really super amazing ones. How about on a river cruise along the Rhine, stopping in the Swiss Alps and getting to go on a scenic trail in like Appenzell or around Lake Lucerne? Like that would be a once in a lifetime experience, I feel like. Or the Austrian Alps, if you're sailing along the Danube, then you could go hiking in the Austrian Alps, like near Milk or near the Salzburg area. So there's some pretty amazing hiking that you could get to do on a European river cruise. Okay, other outdoor adventures. Let's talk about kayaking or canoeing. For example, on the Douro River in Portugal, they have kayaking and canoeing activities that you can do in the Douro Valley. And there's all kinds of vineyards and landscapes and terraces and everything all around you. Or you could go picnicking. On the Seine River, it would be really fun to stop in a picnic location and just picnic along the area in areas like Vernon, Honfleur, Giverny, and just some beautiful gardens or some beautiful areas to stop and have a picnic. All right. What about wildlife spotting? There's some great wildlife. If you are a bird watcher, I would recommend going on a Danube River cruise. There's a wetlands area that's in Romania that's really, it's called the Danube Delta. And so they've got a really great bird watching location. Also, if you were going on a river cruise through Netherlands and Belgium, there's a whole bunch of wildlife in the area called the Rhine-Meuse-Scheldt Delta region. They've got bird species, they've got seals, they've got other marine life. So that is really cool as well. I'm going to classify a gondola ride in Venice as another outdoor adventure. So if you are in Venice on your river cruise, you definitely have got to participate in a gondola ride because that is such an iconic type of experience to have and get to see the beautiful architecture and the charm and all of the things of the city of Venice. Okay. Number 4 type of excursion is creative workshops and activities. So you get a chance to unleash your inner artist thinking about a few of these options. Okay, if we were in Venice, it would be so fun to take a mask making workshop. Venice is known for their ornate, beautiful masks, and they still offer mask making workshops to this day. And that would be such a fun activity to do in Venice. In Portugal, how about a pottery class where you get to be influenced by the heritage and all of the beauty in Porto, Portugal, and be able to make your own creation of pottery. In Sevilla, Spain, how about a flamenco dance instruction? Or if you'd rather just watch a performance, you can opt for a performance of flamenco. In Switzerland, all right, this is my favorite. Unleash your inner chocolatier with a hands-on workshop in Switzerland. So you'll learn how to temper chocolate and create truffles and make your own amazing treats. In France, visit a bee farm in the countryside of France and learn how honey is extracted and how bees are cared for. So really some fun workshop and activity types of excursions. Okay, number 5, let's talk about thrills and adrenaline activities. Going on a river cruise is not just all sitting around and drinking wine and eating chocolate and those types of experiences. You really can have some adrenaline types of activities on some of these cruise ships or off some of these cruise ships. So let's talk about a few of them. You can go bungee jumping in Interlaken, Switzerland. This would be a Rhine River cruise, and you can bungee jump off of one of the highest and most picturesque places in Europe among the Swiss Alps in Interlaken. And, bungee jump and go down toward the turquoise waters of some of the nearby lakes. Another option, you could go paragliding in the Austrian Alps. This would be a Danube River cruise, and you would get to go soaring above the Austrian Alps on a paragliding adventure. Another adrenaline adventure would be jet boating in Croatia. This would be on the Danube or the Danube Delta. Get on this high-speed jet boat and ride along the Dalmatian coast in Croatia. You could go whitewater rafting in the French Alps on the Rhone River, and that would be a really fun adventure. You could go ziplining in the Czech Republic, which would be on the Elbe River, and go on a ziplining adventure. So there are some adrenaline and high adventure types of activities to do from river cruises. All right, number 6, connect with nature. So pretty much all along, we've been talking about a ton of things that are all connecting with nature in one form or another. I'm just going to bring out or highlight a few more. So, for example, in the Swiss Alps, take a scenic hike and you get to see the valleys and the beautiful vistas and the snow-capped peaks. In Croatia, they have a beautiful national park that's called Plitvice, and they have these gorgeous cascading waterfalls and emerald green lakes. It's just amazing. It's so stunning. In Austria, they also have a national park. It's called the Donau-Auen National Park, and they have a lot of wildlife. It's just a beautiful location as well. Other options that I think are always really fun are to take walking tours of the towns and villages that you are in. So, for example, in Prague's Old Town, you can see the astronomical clock and the Charles Bridge. In Budapest, you could see the Chain Bridge, the Buda Castle, St. Stephen's Basilica, and also get to learn about the history and the culture and everything in the cities. So city tours, I think, are a great way to connect with the places where you are. Okay, now we get to number 7. Number 7 types of excursion is actually kind of an excursion, kind of not an excursion. I'm going to talk about spa treatments. So you don't actually have to get off the ship always to be able to enjoy spa treatments. Many river cruise ships already have onboard spa facilities, and you can get massages, facials, body wraps, and more, sometimes haircuts and things like that. So it just depends on the ship and what they offer. So on board, you can totally get to unwind with something like that. Also, some ships have hot tubs or jacuzzis. And the ones that have hot tubs or jacuzzis, they are usually on the upper deck. And so you can sit and soak in these warm, bubbly waters while you are sailing along and looking at all of the beautiful scenery along the way. Some ships have saunas. And if the ship has a sauna, then you can, enjoy the benefits of heat and steam and just feel all cleansed and rejuvenated in a sauna. One excursion, of course, you could, in almost any city or town that you stop in, you could book a massage. Like that would be a really fun thing to do, is to get some local massages while you were sailing. But another, just a very specific location that I think of when I think of like wellness types of things is in Budapest. Budapest is known for their thermal baths, and they have these thermal baths that are just naturally occurring, but they've made them into whole baths areas. So you would be cruising along the Danube River and stop in Budapest, and it would be really fun to visit one of the city's thermal baths as an excursion. So that is the 7. That is all 7. And can you believe we have talked about so many different excursions and different types of excursions that you can do? If you have not been on a river cruise before, you probably didn't know that this was the type of variety that you can expect. There's just so much to see and do, experience while you're on a river cruise. I would love to help you book. If you want to do a certain activity, let me know, because in the planning process, I can kind of help eliminate certain things or say, yep, I would totally recommend this, because different cruise lines and different ships offer different things. So it would totally sometimes depend on where you are, and other times depend on the exact ship that you are going on as to the types of experiences that they would offer. So just let me know. I'm happy to help talk you through it. All right. Switching gears just a little bit. Another question for you. Would you like to be part of the 80th anniversary of the beaches of Normandy landing in World War II? 2024 is the 80th anniversary. Isn't that amazing? And I am going to be going on a river cruise to the beaches of Normandy in October of 2024, and I would love to invite you to go with me. You are invited to go with me and my husband, Sean, and we are going to go October 19th through the 26th of 2024. We would love to have you come with us. It would be so great to have other people along to get to enjoy this river cruise with. So we are going to be sailing on the Seine River. I'm just going to go into a few of the highlights. I'll be talking about it in a lot more detail as we get, as the months go by and we get a little closer. But we're flying into and home from Paris. And so it's a nice round trip flight. We don't have to worry about extra small towns to fly into or airport connections or anything like that. So you fly into Paris, out of Paris. You can spend extra time there either before or after your cruise if you want to spend a little bit of time in Paris, although we will be spending some time as part of the cruise there. All right. The very first stop that we will go is to the beaches of Normandy. That is where we will be sailing, and we will get to spend an entire day there. And we can just be totally immersed in the history and just the majesty of this sacred place. I believe that this is a sacred place because it is this amazing location where so many of our, forefathers and the people who came before us, where they sacrificed their lives and they risked their lives for freedom and to defend their beliefs. And so I believe that it is a very wonderful sacred place there at the beaches of Normandy. And we get to spend an entire day there and just soak it all in. Other highlights for the river cruise. One is the birthplace of Joan of Arc. It is the city called Rouen, and it has been around since around, 1000 BC. It could even be before that. I'm not really sure. But we get to learn all about Joan of Arc standing up for her ideals and being burned at the stake because she would not give up her ideas that she had. Another amazing stop is Claude Monet's gardens. So Giverny is the town, and his gardens, Monet's gardens, are located there. And they have been really well preserved and maintained, and they're just such a great tribute. We get to see the ponds and the lily pads and just the area where Claude Monet painted so many of his beautiful masterpieces. So we get to stop there and spend some time there. Another super amazing, great highlight, and this is a once in a lifetime, type of experience, is that we get to go river cruising with our very own French chef. So this is somebody that I have asked, my friend Romina Rasmussen. She is the owner of the recently closed French bakery in Salt Lake called Les Madeleines. And she will be joining us on our cruise. So she is coming on our cruise only, just with us, just for our group. So along the way, we get to enjoy all of her insights about France, where she has spent a ton of time going to all of these fun little places in France, and all of her food, culinary expertise and insights, and also the pastries. She's an amazing pastry chef, and we get to learn all about her insight and expertise in the area. We'll participate in workshops and demos and tastings and just get to have her with us throughout the entire week. So that is going to be such a treat. It's going to be such an amazing experience. I really would love to have you come with us if you want to. If this has been something that you have had in the back of your mind, someday I want to do that. Well, right now, this is a great time to go. The 80th anniversary of the beaches of Normandy, getting to have Romina come with us, and then getting to sail down the Seine River and have so many of these great experiences. I'm going to be talking about the river cruise more in depth in the next few months, so I will give you a lot more details. But if you are interested in it, if you think you may want to just get a deposit paid, or even if you just want more information and details, feel free to contact me. The easiest way is probably email, Barbara at Sweet Dreams Travel, and remember it's SUITE, so sweetdreamstravel.net. Be a great place to contact me if you're interested in more information about our river cruise. And anyway, it's been so fun talking about river cruise excursions and all the things that you could do on a river cruise. It's just so great. I love it. I love the chance to get to talk to you and to get to tell you about these things. And if you have enjoyed this episode, or if you know somebody, maybe you're not ready to go on a river cruise, but you know somebody who might be interested in one, any river cruise, or specifically the French one that we're going to do next October, feel free to share this episode with them in some way. And I'd be happy to talk to them too. So thanks for joining me. We will talk to you later. If you've enjoyed this podcast, I would invite you to like, share, or leave a review. Let's help grow our wellness travel community.